Today we're going to talk about picking the right cruise cabin. If you're new to cruising, we want you to enjoy cruising as much as we do. And we thought we would bring you a video that goes over all the different types of cruise cabins that you can choose from when you go on your first cruise. So Mike, where do we want to start?
Let's start with the inexpensive cabin on a ship. And you can go up to over $100,000 on some of these cruise ships. It's just, I can't imagine people. Can you spend that kind of money? If you can, we've got the cabin for you.
Yeah.
But let's start out with the inside cabin. It's a cabin with no windows. When the lights go out, it's dark. People sometimes really love it because they say it's so quiet usually, and there's nothing to disturb you, and they get a great night's sleep.
Yes, and those cabins are about 150 to 300 square feet. And you have to remember, like Mike was saying, they are dark when you turn all the lights out. So you may want to bring a night light or some sort of daytime alarm clock, the alarm clocks that will bring up daylight. A lot of people will do that so that when they wake up in the morning, there is a little bit of light in the room. And especially at night, if you need to go to the restroom, you may want to have that night light so that you're navigating through the room. You have a little bit of light to see. Otherwise, you may be knocking into furniture or the end of the bed, something like that. A lot of people also say that in an inside cabin, when the lights are out, if you're taking a nap in the afternoon, sometimes they oversleep and they miss out on some of the activities that go on, on the ship in the evening. So you don't want to miss dinner. So our suggestion would be that if you are taking a nap in the afternoon, set an alarm so that you know when you need to wake up.
Yes. And the next one is, on the upside, is the inside with a virtual balcony. And if you want an inside cabin, but you want to see what's going on outside, this is a camera that you can see what is literally on that side of the ship. There's cameras there. And what they do is they shoot the feeds into the television set. So you literally have a picture of what's going on so you can see
in real time. So it's like a whole wall is the virtual window, and it's the real-time feed of what's going on. So you can tell if it's day or night. If you're due to be in port, you'll be able to see what's going on in port before you actually even leave your room. So that's a nice alternative. Not all ships have that. Not all cruise lines have it. We know for a fact that Royal Caribbean has it, and they have it on their newer ships. It started with Anthem of the Seas, so the Anthem series of ships. That's where they introduced the virtual balcony. We cannot tell you for sure if it's on some of the other cruise lines, but a lot of times when one cruise line starts something and it's a big hit, a lot of the other cruise lines will follow suit.
And if you want to get an inside cabin with a balcony, that is, on the Oasis ships and even on Icon and all those, it's a center part that runs down, and the set of balconies face the inside of the ship. So as you walk out onto your balcony, you may be seeing Central Park. MSC also has them as well, where you can look down and see people, and you could people watch from there sitting on your balcony. The balconies on those aren't that very big. The last ship that we were on was
Allure of the Seas, and we had one of the inside balconies. We had it on the boardwalk, and it was at the very end where the Aqua Theater is. So we actually could see the Aqua Theater show from our room. We have a video of that, and we'll link it down below. So if you want to take a look at that, that may give you an idea of the perspective of the inside balcony. They're roughly the same size as a balcony cabin. Balconies are smaller compared to an ocean view balcony, but at least it gives you a little bit of light that'll come into the cabin, and you do have some outdoor space. Now, one thing with those inside balconies, and people will not tell you this, but you need to know, when you are getting changed, make sure that your cabin drapes are closed, because you're an inside balcony and directly across from you is another inside balcony. And if you can see them, they can see you. And we will tell you, some people do forget to shut their drapes when they're getting changed. And I don't think that they intend on giving someone a show, but it happens. So make sure if you do book one of these rooms, you close your drapes if you're going to get changed in your room. Otherwise, you're going to have to change in the bathroom.
So let's go on. If you want a balcony, and this is what it's going to be, you're going to see the ocean all the time. The square footage is from 175 square feet to 298, and that's not including the balcony. And you have to look at the ship plan when you book a balcony, because there are bump outs on the ship. And what happens is it makes your balcony sometimes twice the size of normal.
Right. Or some cruise lines have balcony staterooms in the aft of the ship. So if you are aft, usually those balconies are longer, they're deeper in length than a balcony on either the starboard or the port side of the ship. And even sometimes they'll have balcony staterooms in the forward of the ship. So those tend to be a little bit longer. So you really have to look at the deck plans and see where the cabin you want is, and that'll give you the size of the balcony stateroom. But Mike, we need to back up a little bit because we forgot the ocean view stateroom.
Oh, did we really?
We did.
Oh.
So an ocean view cabin is the next step up from an inside, and it will have a window. Sometimes in the older ships, it'll have a round porthole, but most of them now have sort of a picture view window. And those cabins will run anywhere from 129 to 354 square feet. And that's nice if you don't necessarily need a balcony, but you do want to have some outside light coming in. You want to be able to see where you are, during your travels on the cruise. That's a good alternative.
And now here's the next one. We're going to go back up. Now we're going to start at the suites. And this is Kathleen's favorite because she likes taking a bath. So if you like to take a bath, you need to get a junior suite. But not all junior suites have baths. You have to look to see the plan when you book it to see whether you have a bath or not.
And we're noticing a lot of the newer cruise ships that are coming out, when you get to the suite class, the junior suites or a mini suite, as they might call it on a different cruise line. It depends on what cruise line you're booking with, whether they call it a mini suite or a junior suite. But this is going to give you more space in the cabin. You usually have a sitting area that will have a couch, maybe a chair, a coffee table. Sometimes they will have coffee machines in the junior suites. You get a little more perks with a junior suite. We know for Royal Caribbean, when you hit the junior suite category, they have a bathtub in the junior suite. So if you enjoy taking a bath, then a junior suite's the way to go.
And the room is a little bit bigger on all the junior suites. It feels bigger anyway. And also the balconies.
And even your storage space on a junior balcony or junior suite is going to be bigger. Some of we can tell you for Royal Caribbean that in the Freedom class, the junior suites have a walk-in closet where you can literally unpack your suitcase. Everything is in the closet and you have nothing out in the cabin. So it makes it a lot easier to stay organized and keep everything very neat and you don't have things thrown all over the place.
And that walk-in closet is really
It
nice.
is really nice. Definitely. We definitely recommend if you're going junior suite and you're on a Freedom class, definitely it's worth it.
Yeah, it is. And the suites, and now we're talking some major money here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, if you can afford a suite, it's nice, and sometimes you can get a great deal.
Yeah, and the suites can go up to 2,766 square feet. Some of them are multi-level, especially on a lot of the new ships that have come out this year that are due to come out next year and the year after. If you go with their largest suites, they're multi-level. So you'll have your bedrooms on one level, you'll have a living area, a dining area. Some of them even have kitchens in the suite, and you can host parties, things like that. But it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Those usually start anywhere from, $40,000 to $50,000 per person in the suite. So not anything that we could afford.
And you also, some of the suites, you have butlers. So you've
Right.
also got that along with everything, all your other perks. You've got your own dining room. You don't go usually to the main dining room. You have a separate place that you go to eat, and and some of the ships are a ship within a ship.
Right.
So all the suite people just stay together.
Right.
And don't go out into the regular. They have their own pools and everything.
And you see that a lot on Norwegian Cruise Line. It's called the Haven. So it's the ship within a ship. They have their own pool area. They have their own deck for all of the suite guests. You have your butler, concierge service, your own dining room, all of that. So you literally could be in your own secluded area, away from the rest of the ship if that's what you want. Now, of course, you can go and do anything on any part of the ship, but if you want to have your own private deck during the day, your own private pool, that may be the way to go. It's a lot less crowded. It's a little bit quieter, and people really enjoy that. So,
But it is a lot of money. I mean, it's some of the.
it
That's
is.
the thing. If you can afford it, you'll probably love it. Listen, inside cabin, you have full run of the ship. You've got meals. You've got everything. It doesn't matter whether you have an inside cabin or a suite. You still have full run of the ship.
The pricing on these cruises will be different with each sailing. So, like Mike was saying, depending on if it's a repositioning cruise, if it's a cruise that is a short cruise, a weekend cruise, or a longer cruise, depending on what geographical area you're leaving from, will determine the cost of the cruise. So you're going to have to take that into consideration. So one thing that we always tell people when they ask us about cruising is decide your budget first
And then add 10%.
and then go from there, and that'll help determine the time of year that you want to travel, whether or not you want to be able to drive to the port. So if you live close to a port, you may want to just drive there. You don't have to incur an extra cost of a flight, hotel, things like that. But we hope that this gave you some good information on the different types of cabins there are. And like we said, they can run anywhere from a couple $100s per person for a cruise for 7 days, all the way up to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And what I'll do is we have a whole playlist of just our cabin tours, and I'll link that down below. You can pick different ships that we've been on, from Icon down to Vision, which is their smallest ship, and you can see the difference in
Right.
the different cabins that are there. Like and subscribe. We really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoy cruising as much as we do.
Give us a thumbs up.
Cat and Mike, the ships that sail on a journey that'll never fail. With the wind in their hair and the sun shining bright, they're dancing on the waves, it feels just right.